Okay, so I am back here. Trip up. These walls are made out of glass, and before these letters were put up here on the wall, we would have the unfortunate circumstances where people would be sitting here at the tables at times and get up and run to go catch their bus and run straight into the wall. Or we'd be sitting here watching folks walk happily to the restaurant, oblivious that the walls are made out of glass, and walk full speed smack into the walls. But going back to that fateful day where that had to do that citizen's arrest, I came in on my shift. Michael Archer was behind the bar. This guy was his client or his customer, guest, whatever you want to call it. The guy was sitting here. He was totally inebriated, and he kept trying to leave and get on a motorcycle. It was a Hayabusa. And I came on the shift. I stopped taking tables, was giving him coffee, water, bread, wouldn't let him leave. But that wasn't for lack of trying. He kept trying to stop, and I kept having to catch him before he left the door. There was a group of maybe 20-something motorcycle riders out of Sacramento. Like I said before, they weren't like 1%er kind of motorcycle riders. They were just motorcycle enthusiasts, wild hogs, if you would. They were here, and this is like 2 hours in. I'm trying to sober this guy up. I didn't take no tables. I just was making sure this guy didn't leave to get on this motorcycle, because a Hayabusa is a powerful, big piece of machinery, and this guy was like a 350-pound man. But he kept trying to leave here before he was sobered up, and we had like reached out to security, who was a retired police officer, and he said that we kind of met our obligation at that point. But ain't no way I was gonna let this dude get on the motorcycle and kill some innocent family just trying to come home from their weekend or what have you, and this idiot's on the wrong side of the freeway. So eventually he even made it all the way out to the motorcycle, which was parked over here where a lot of motorcycles were parked. There's actually a motorcycle parked there right now. So he made it all the way over to here, and myself and Rudy Nava were able to get to him. Rudy jumped on the front. Rudy's an experienced motorcycle rider, so Rudy jumped on the front, and I jumped on the back part of it. We made sure dude couldn't take off. Again, we got the keys, walked him back in there, and sat him down. He's like, "Oh, thank you guys." But eventually, there was a lot of people coming in and out, and a lot of people that were enjoying their meals, and there was a lot of hustle and bustle. And so when I turned, the guy made it out, and when I looked, he wasn't there. But I noticed that all the guys that were from Sacramento, the motorcycle riders, had left. And so what he did was he got on a Hayabusa, and they were all lined up right here on Jefferson. And when I got to where the motorcycle was right there, I couldn't find him, but I could hear it. He was revving it at full, or woo, 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 woo. So I know exactly where he was. So I turned into the Terminator and was running at full speed, and I caught him. All those other motorcycles there was 2 lines of them right here on this street, roughly about where this work truck is maybe actually right about where I'm standing right here is where I caught up to him. And so I ran up to the motorcycle, and I grabbed him and tried dragging him off the motorcycle. And the other guys, they didn't know him. They just saw me grabbing a motorcycle rider off. So they were like, "Hey, you can't." They jumped off their motorcycles, and they were right here, and they said, "Oh, you can't do." They thought I was just harassing a motorcycle for no good reason. But when I told them, I was like, "Yo, fuck you guys. That guy's gonna kill somebody because he's drunk." And then they realized that he was the idiot that was in the restaurant pissing on himself. So they pointed to like the key to how to turn off the motorcycle. So when I reached for it, that fucking idiot gunned the motorcycle in between the 2 rows. And so one of the other motorcycle riders took off after him, and they kind of collided and fell over down there. So again, Terminator starts running full sprint down the street, and I caught him. It's hard to, let me see. So you got the red light right down there. So there's a person standing with the red jacket down there. Right there is where they had collided, and I ran from here to over there because the fucking idiot was trying to get back on the motorcycle and take off again. So I grabbed the fool, put him in a chokehold, and choked his ass out. I say, all right, this citizen's arrest. He kept trying to get back on the motorcycle, but when he's getting choked out on the ground, that's when he stopped and waited there until the police got there, and then the citizen's arrest was completed, and he was taken into custody and prosecuted. But he had fucked that other guy's motorcycle up pretty bad, because the guy went down there and like bumped him just enough to where he would crash, and gave me enough time to run down there before he can get the motorcycle back up on two wheels and get out of there, and the rest is history. But this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. This is only one of the many circumstances we're dealing with people that are drinking and driving that I've had to deal with, and where I've met my threshold and I'm just like done with it. And the unfortunateness that I married somebody who has a history of this, so that I thought was done, started doing it again. And when I said you can't do this, instead of her saying, okay, this person loves me, doesn't want to see me die, or whether it's from health related issues, from alcoholism, or crashing into a tree or another car like my friend did, or her hitting somebody and being prosecuted like that lady in Napa that got prosecuted for going on the wrong side of the freeway or Highway 29. No, instead she turns to the enablers, who are also drunk drivers, alcoholics, and encourage the behavior and reinforce it, and try to like disguise it or camouflage it as empowerment. Like, no, she can do whatever she wants because she's empowered. Man, she has 2 DUIs and went to jail for that shit. And when it comes to my son's safety, having to call the damn 911 to stop her from getting behind the wheel and trying to drive 525 miles with my son in the car, fuck that. And, so these people, they're not good people. They may have good attributes, they may have titles, they may do good things, but the fact that they would sit there and try to negate my son's safety and try to cover it up under the banner of empowerment, or as some form of advocacy that's necessary because they need somebody to advocate for their negative behavior, fuck that. My son's life means more than any of them. Matter of fact, it means more than all of them put together. Fuck them.